Porto have offered me a job interview. Yeah, wasn't really expecting this. An offer to go to the second biggest team in Portugal in this save game. Media prediction is second, current position second. Their manager is left to go to Chelsea. The job's open. They want little old me. And while you might think from the title of this video, I am seriously considering that move. Despite what we've built here at Dortmund, it's been a great project. But when you wanted, and a move to Portugal would be fun. Except I want to win the league with Dortmund. And really, the only reason I'm even entertaining this is because it makes for a good YouTube thumbnail. But you've clicked on the video now. We're doing a triple header today. You shouldn't go anywhere. I'll fill you in with all the details right after we run the intro. Was that scummy of me? Maybe, but you're here now. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Rebuilding Dortmund. Today is episode number 13. It's unlucky for some. I'm hoping it won't be unlucky for us. Since you were last here, two little bits of transfer business happened in January. The first was a sale. Gullickson has left to go to Bournemouth. We got £8 million for him in the end. He was unhappy at the club. He wanted to leave the club. I really couldn't give him the assurances he wanted. And ultimately, for a player who was in danger of running down his contract, wasn't playing a lot for us. £8 million fine. There's a sell-on as well. If he develops, fantastic. Another player who it'd be fantastic if they were to develop is Pilios. This guy we signed from Bayern Munich. Yeah, we've snapped up a few of their youngsters over the years. We picked this guy up for £3.7 million. As you can see here, he is hopefully now going to be playing on the regular with our B team, developing decently. As you can see, just looking at him, yes, he's inconsistent, but what he lacks in consistency, he makes up for in the raw mould of, I feel like, a centre-back. I mean, in terms of centre-backs, you can see here, there is one attribute below a 12 here, and it's his composure. Everything else is 12 or higher. And when you're 18 years old, and he's only just turned 18, with the kind of potential he's got, with professional personality, I feel like he's got the makings of being a regular first-team player. Now, is he as good as someone like Arian B? No. Is he going to be playing on the regular? No. Not right now, at least, but he could be in the future. Now, you might have spotted by the date in the top corner, it is the 13th of February. We have played through the entirety of January. Of course, we ended things last time with the winter break kicking off. You will notice, perhaps, we are currently second in the league with the same amount of games played as Bayern Munich. Yeah, we're trailing them. Our first game after the winter break was against Bayer Leverkusen, a decent team in the league, but certainly a team with where we are in the league, we'd expect to win. In this game, we were very, very lucky to even get a draw. We were second best throughout. No one really showed up for us. And as you can see from their XG, they had the better of the play, but a point was still crucial, but we can't afford to slip up like this too much. Following on from that result, two decent results. The first was against St. Pauli in the DFB Pokal, a 4-1 win. Great to see Max Stopper pick up 2 goals in this game. Was a little unhappy over the January period, tried to force a move, but now has decided he is happy to stay. And in fact, he started in this second game here, taking on Schalke. 2 wins in a row, 2 wins against Schalke so far this season. 3-1 this game finished. Adamu on off the bench, had a little bit of an injury, gave him some game time after Dopper didn't play so well. He grabbed 2 goals. Yeah, this man's goal scoring form is still really good. I will say now, he's been having a few little issues with injuries. You can see here, 4 minor injuries he's had to deal with. They've only really been for a few days, up to a couple of weeks, but maybe something just to have your eye on. Alongside the draw against Leverkusen, the only other game we failed to win was this one against Union Berlin. Pains me to say it, Wiedrea sensational in this game. He was really, really good. We went down early on. We actually bounced back almost immediately. Nonto with the ball in. Adriano holding up the play. Becker, Adamu, Kameri. That might be one of the nicest goals we've scored all season, and it came in a defeat, so it's really not that memorable, but sensational build-up play. Great goal. Unfortunately, we were done by a big looping cross to the back post. Wiedrea grabbed his second of the game, and Union Berlin would make it 3-1 before the break. Despite us trying to push on, trying to get that all-important goal to maybe get back into the game, it didn't materialise, and at the end of the day, we really just didn't create enough in this one. Since then, though, we have bounced back with 2 wins that you'd expect us to get, but you know what? You still got to get them. The first, Augsburg, 2-0 win there. Nonto with 2, and against Osnabrück, you can see here, Gruder got 2, Adamu got 2, and well, we are back, hopefully, to goal-scoring ways. I have just noticed here, is there a game we've failed to score in the league this season? I think we've scored in every single league game. Oh, you know what? We might not be able to get the unbeaten season going. That's suddenly my aim now. So in terms of the plan of attack for today, you can see the upcoming games. We've got Wolfsburg, who currently sits in 4th. That's our first appetizer. The main course is going to be Gladbach away in a week's time. And shortly after that, it's the DFB Pokal, where we are taking on Bayern Munich away from home. Yeah, of all the teams you could get drawn against in this competition, Bayern are kind of the team I wanted to avoid, so look forward to that for your dessert. I'm not looking forward to dessert, and normally I'm a bloke who loves dessert. Today's first opposition are going to be Wolfsburg. Media prediction of third for them. Had a slow start to the season, but they've started to get going now. Fabio Vieira is their key man. He is an exceptional creative player who we're going to have to try and shut down. So when it comes to team news for today's game, here is how we're going to line up. Adamu has a tight groin. I'm going to gamble on him. I feel like I need him on the pitch for this game. He is going to start up front. The rest of the team is full strength with no real worries. You might have noticed here, Tarun Ariga's in the team over Ari and B. He shouldn't be. Ari, get back in the team. So this today is the first of 3 games we're going to be playing. Hopefully we can get off to a dreamy start. Gruda tries to Travella cross it in. It's dealt with nicely. But yeah, triple header. Looking forward to all of these games. Would like to win them all. The Bayern one at the end is going to be tough. These 2 games in the league, though, are essential that we do win to keep the pressure on the champions as... well, a very Football Manager highlight has just played out in front of us. The ball has hit the crossbar, bounced across the 6-yard box. No one has reacted, and yet it's resulted in nothing, and I've seen it as a highlight. Gruda, free kick, hits it from range. He hits the woodwork as well. We're 4 minutes into this game. We've hit the woodwork twice. Could be a third time if we're unlucky. Ball going to be whipped towards the back post. Arian B's there. He gets it under the crossbar. Glad I spotted he wasn't in the starting 11. He's got the all-important goal. I mentioned it an episode or 2 ago. Gruda is on course to beat the Bundesliga record for assists in a season. I believe the current record is 15. I believe with that corner there, that's his 15th assist. So he has now tied the record. If he gets another assist in this game or for the next however many games are left of the season, quite a few really, he would set that record outright. Keep an eye on that as we watch things play out here. And well, he very nearly had a goal to go with his assist. Garcia holds on to it. Looking good in this game to start things. Bullets with the ball at right back. Forward to Gruda. Going to lay it inside to the goal scorer, Arian B. Vitali Becker. He's got men inside. Nonto is one of them. Picks out Nonto into the 6-yard box. Pulls it back. Adamu scores. It's his 27th of the season. Vitali Becker's pass here. It almost looked like he'd underhit it, but Nonto managed to get onto the end of it. And then from absolutely nowhere, squeezes the ball in. Keeps the ball alive. And it's 2-0. Wolfsburg are in 4th. We're making them look like chumps right now. Gruda with a corner, whips it back post. Arian B's there. He has hit the woodwork. That's the 3rd time we've left it shaking in this game. And it's still 2-0 on top of that. This really could have been embarrassing in the first 20 minutes for Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg trying to play the ball out from the back. They've got Gnabry in their central midfield area. Don't really associate Gnabry with being a centre mid, but I assume in old age in this save game, he's become a deep line playmaker. Football Manager loves to do that with older players. Fabio Vieira, their creative player, shut down by Becker. Things we love to see. And now we're going to look to play the ball out from the back. And Killy to Adriano. Option to his right. Bullet is there. Bullet, by the way, has so many assists this year from right back. Could he get another here? Tries to pick out Adamu with an ambitious pass. It's dealt with, but we still have the ball in a great area. So much pressure. Nonto, back post. Gruda scores it. If he's onside, it's a sensational goal. And all the credit will go to Nonto for the assist. Is it going to count? Will it count? Our players don't seem keen to celebrate. VAR's going to review it. It's not going to count. Approaching the end of the first half here, Wolfsburg yet to have a shot on target. We have absolutely dominated this game, containing them at the back, creating loads. Going to tell the players I'm very happy. Kind of game where I don't feel like there's a need to overcomplicate things. Saying all of that, kick-off highlight, worry, panic. No, you know what? I'm confident. This is going to be a highlight in our favour. I'm calm. I'm fine. I'm thinking rationally. That'd be a first, wouldn't it? Becker bringing the ball forward. What can he do? Vitali, my friend. Down the byline he goes. Can he cross it in? Low cross, hits the defender, goes in. And it's 3-0. I feel conflicted celebrating that. It's a goal in the first 30 seconds of the half. And I mean, Vitali Becker should get all the credit. I assume he will be given the assist for this. It's almost a shame his cross wasn't on target here. Low-driven cross, defender. I mean, it's a great finish. Harry Maguire would be proud. Still 40 minutes left in this game. At 3-0 up, I'd love us to score a few more. Goal difference could end up being a deciding factor between ourselves and Bayern Munich. And if that is going to be the case, games like this, we can't afford to slow down in. I'm talking about going on the attack more. We also need to do some of that defending stuff. They very nearly scored there. Okay, Gruda's on a booking out on the right-hand side. Going to play things safe here. Bino Gittins on Ucum. Adamu had a little bit of an injury going into this game. Kind of feels like a match where we can now take him off. Elsewhere, Giovanni Reina on Ucum. I could make more changes. I think we'll keep it at 3 for now. Rapidly approaching the end of the second half, there really has not been many opportunities in this half. I feel like having gone 3-0 up, we've taken our foot off the gas. Wolfsburg just want the game to be over, and ultimately that is all going to accumulate and, well, end up with us finishing 3-0 here with a rather tame end to the second half. I almost feel shortchanged. Very, very happy with that performance. Confidence is high. We're playing well. Hopefully, we can keep that going into the next game. We do go top of the table for now. Bayern Munich still have to play. Our next opposition are Gladbach in 13th. I've now hit continue to exit the game, and in that time, Bayern Munich have played their game against Werder Bremen. They won 4-1. They are back top of the table. It's annoying how good they are. Okay, we've got a week to dust ourselves off, get rested up, and get ready for the Gladbach game. Worth noting, the game following against Bayern Munich is 3 days later, but as much as I want to win the DFB Pokal, I don't think I can make that a priority over the league. I feel like we have to just give it our all in the league, hope that we can rest up the players and be ready for the game against Bayern. With that in mind, let's hope that the next game is as straightforward as the previous one. Okay, folks, game number 2 today, taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach. Got to do an away day, but first, have you noticed anything different with today's video? Probably not, but I have updated the lighting in my setup. I feel like it's less nightclub now and more cozy manager's office. You probably didn't even notice the difference. Maybe you did. I mean, if you watch every day, you might have noticed. Anyway, minor change. Just I wanted to mention it because you might not, and maybe now you're going, oh yeah, that does look different. I put a lot of effort into it, so leave a comment for the algorithm all about it. I'm not sure why, but my Google has changed the colour of the map. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's still an away day, and we're going to Mönchengladbach, which I don't know where it is on a map. This is awkward. Okay, it turns out it's just to the west of Dusseldorf, so it's not that far away from Dortmund, and we are heading here to the lovely city of Gladbach, which, I mean, from above, it looks like any other city. I know we have some Google Maps experts out there. If you can tell me why my map had changed colour in the 2D, it'd be appreciated. Fortunately, it's not a concern for us here when it comes to the satellite view of Borussia Park, which has great parking. I mean, this is why it's called Borussia Park, because of the park. Look at it. Look at it. I don't care if you're not normally a car parking fan. You can't tell me you don't look at these lines and just get filled with some indescribable pleasure. On top of that, loads of training pitches all around it. I wonder if the club train here as well. I've noticed that with a lot of German football clubs, it feels like they have loads of pitches around the stadiums. I don't know if that's just for general, like, you know, local kind of community use, or if they're used by the academies. Answers on a postcard, please. I've not said answers on a postcard in ages. Send me some postcards. And the next question is, are there Google Street View options? And the answer is, there are options. First and foremost, big shout out to Google for driving around the car parks in 2022. They knew I was coming. They rolled out the red carpet. We'll just do a little lap of the car park and then feast our eyes on the stadium, which appears to have a Borussia Mönchengladbach hotel next door. Just headed to the other side of the stadium to have a look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Borussia Park, as it's labelled. I will say it's very symmetrical and a bit boring from the outside, but I do appreciate the commitment to green spaces. You know, it feels very luscious around the ground. Here is the inside of the stadium. First things first, they're making me look bad with my new lighting, aren't they? With their green lighting around the roof. I have to say, appreciate the green lighting. I love any football club that leans into their theme. And yet, they've got these lovely green, comfy, spongy seats and this lovely green lighting. I mean, it feels very Borussia Mönchengladbach-y. I did notice a few other football stadiums in Germany have this. They've got the peace symbol in their centre circle. They get an extra half a point for that. There is one random picture of the inside of the stadium. Here is the trophy room here at Gladbach. As you can see, that they win a lot. I actually don't know how successful Gladbach have been in their history. I'm just sending it for them now. I'm bitter. I don't know why. I've decided they're an enemy to me. Actually, I know why it was. It's because there's no good views of the stadium in the stadium. All these different things I look at just... they're a bit boring. It's just a bit of a boring stadium. Besides the lights, they've tried to jazz it up, and it fooled me initially, and now I'm seeing through the facade. Okay, Borussia Park. First things first, stadium itself, bit boring, bit generic. I mean, they've strapped some lights on it, and it fooled me initially, but it's quite generic, for lack of a better word. But saving graces, first things first, centre circle peace symbol. We all like that. Car parking, we love that. 5.5 out of 10. I love the car parking. Just wish there was a bit more going on inside besides green lights. It's never going to score you highly. Okay, away day wrapped up. Let's get into this game. A little bit of team news, though, because, shock, horror, Adamu injured. Is it a bad injury? No, he's got a virus. He's got a virus suffered in training. Tell me how you suffer a virus in training and no one else in the team is sick. Sense that makes none. And elsewhere, it gets worse. Gruder injured for the next few weeks. 4 weeks he's going to be out for. He might not be able to beat the assist record. I mean, hopefully he still can. He's not out till the end of the season, but it's getting a little bit closer all of a sudden with him being injured now for the foreseeable. So what does it mean for the first team? It means that Bino Gittins is going to go out and play on the right-hand side as a winger. I mean, he is very, very well suited to this role, can we just say. Exceptional winger. Hasn't had a great season thus far, although hasn't started all that many. And Giovanni Reina finds himself in a familiar position out on the left-hand side, playing as an inverted winger, a role that he is fairly well suited to. Now, because I've let Gullikson go to Bournemouth in January, it does mean that we're a little light when it comes to wide backup players. So, Bernhard Seidel, a product of our academy, was here before I arrived at the club, has never played for the first team before, has been playing for the B team and playing okay for the last couple of years. All of a sudden, he finds himself on the bench. Now, do I want to bring on this guy? No. Do I want to bring him on and see him score? I mean, it'd be fun if it happened, wouldn't it? But hopefully it doesn't come to that. So Gladbach are down towards the bottom of the table. I don't think they're quite in the relegation fights. They're a little way ahead of it. Is that true? We can do a fact check in here. Yeah, they're 8 points ahead of the drop. That said, given the fact they're in 13th, they're a team I expect us to beat. They're a team I want us to beat. And an early goal would certainly help settle my nerves. Of course, we are doing it without some of our key men. Nonto is going to be playing up top. Had that big transfer fee attached to him, has been averaging a goal contribution pretty much every game so far from the left-hand side. But with Adamu injured, he's in the middle. He needs to be the main man today. We're going to hope that if a chance falls his way, he can take it. And I thought as Giovanni Reina challenged for that header, maybe there was going to be an early chance fall his way. Unfortunately for us, it's not quite going to transpire like that just yet. Of course, away from home, I do feel like things are always a little bit tougher. You're going to be tested more at the back. We do have a lot of injuries, but they are in the final third, whereas defensively, we've looked good this year. And having weathered a storm with them bringing the ball forward, it's Bino Gittins playing it inside to Nonto, who finds the back of the net, and he makes it 1-0. Okay, dream start. Bino Gittins, lovely ball inside, going to be playing on the regular. You imagine with Gruder out for the next 4 weeks, and Nonto takes his first chance of the game. Hopefully, that'll be the first of many, because well, between this game and the one against Bayern Munich, he's probably going to have to be our main source of goals. Coming up to the end of this first half, 5 minutes left. They're yet to have a shot on target. They have edged out possession, but not doing a great deal with it, which is okay for me. I feel like as this game goes on, as they look to push men forward to try and get ahead, it's maybe going to leave them more open. And of course, right before half-time here, maybe one last chance to get on the score sheet could make my team talk easier, especially if Giovanni Reina is going to score like that. It's only his second of the season, but what a finish it was. Becker found himself in all kinds of space here, laid off to Reina, back with him, little give and go, and suddenly from here, Reina, well, you expect him to cross it in. He's gone on his lonesome. He was justified to feel confident to finish it from there, and right before half-time, we double our lead. Going to tell the players I'm very happy. Hopefully complacency not going to settle in. Great to see a makeshift final third setup with Bino Gittins and Reina in the team. Performing well so far. 7.4 ratings for the two newcomers. Reina with the ball, lays it inside to Adriano. Nonto now with the ball into the final third. His shot is blocked. It goes wide. We are not letting off here, despite making some subs to bring in fresh legs. We continue to look threatening. This is a game that I feel like at this point we are just in complete control and managing. I wouldn't mind a third goal, but it doesn't really feel essential. Borussia Mönchengladbach have done nothing in this game going forward. And well, for the most part, we've just been able to contain them. I mean, I say all of this. Cut to them now scoring now. Football Manager, please just end the highlight. Please end that. Don't embarrass me. Anyone else getting worried? Should I be worried? Rooney now with the ball. They've got a lot of players forward. Dennis Undav, he's offside. Shirley, Lino, raise the flag. I mean, I'm not great at making these offside calls, as we've learned in recent episodes. 99.99999% sure he's offside. He is, thankfully. If he hadn't been, that would have been embarrassing. Was it close? No, it wasn't. And with that, this game here is going to finish 2-0. 2 league games played in this episode, 2 wins. Great to see. Goals continuing to flow. Now just the minor matter at Bayern Munich in 3 days' time. I mean, all these results are great. You know, we're putting some pressure on Bayern Munich, but as you can see here, Because we've only won 2-0, they are now ahead of us on goal difference. 10 games left of the season. We do still have to play them in the league. That will be next episode. But for now, we just have to try and keep winning like we are. Now, I believe if I hit continue once here, Bayern Munich will play their game in hand that they have. Indeed, they have. They've beaten Heidenheim 1-0, and you'll never guess who scored for them. It's Moukoko again. That is the second time in 2 episodes they've won 1-0 in a later kickoff, and Moukoko's been the man getting the goal for them. He's got 12 goals in 14 games for them in the league. I feel like if they didn't have him and we had him, we probably are winning the league this year. But obviously, that's not what's happened. Okay, 1 game left of today's episode. It's the big one. It's the dessert. It's Bayern Munich with a cherry on top. This game forecast to have light snow. Will we actually get some snow? Will we see an orange football? Will the lines be painted blue in the match engine? Let's go find out together. Now, like I mentioned earlier, pretty much worst case scenario here in the DFB Pokal being drawn away from home against Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich, but we're going to try and make something happen against them. Of course, we're going head-to-head against them in the league, and given the fact we've also got to play them in the league, I don't mind losing this game as long as we beat them next episode in the league competition. That said, when you look at their squad, it's a rather good team. I mean, just from the star ratings, you can tell it's a good team. What I'm deep down secretly hoping is they're going to be a little bit distracted today. Look, they've got Champions League games on the horizon. Heck, they take us on shortly after their round of 16 games. Maybe with all these games going on, they'll take their eye off the ball. Maybe this squad that they have will be stretched thin and we can capitalise. That is pretty much the one thought and hope keeping me going. And with that in mind, this is the first of 2 big games against them. Perhaps not quite season-defining this one, but certainly a game I'd like to win. I'd love to win a cup here at Dortmund, and of course there is only 1 cup competition in the German Football League. In terms of our team for today's game, by the way, it is unchanged. This is the exact same 11 that played the previous game. Vitali Becker does have a little bit of a concern over his fitness, but he's fit enough to start. Given his recent form, 7.52 rating for him, he's a bit of a no-brainer. Elsewhere, looking at Nonto thinking, yeah, I need you to be good again today. He was decent last game, got that goal early on for us. Hopefully, if chances fall his way against Bayern, where you have to imagine they're going to be harder to come by, he will be the man to finish them. Now, I did see a couple of episodes ago when we took on Bayern Munich, some people perhaps sceptical, perhaps dubious over my decision to play attacking against Bayern Munich in the league game. I feel like in Football Manager, the best form of defence is to attack, is to take the game to teams, especially against a team like Bayern Munich with so much quality. The more that you sit back, the more that you try and just play a defensive style of play, the more you just tend to invite pressure onto yourself, struggle to hold on to the ball. And given the fact we do play this possession style of play, I'm hoping that perhaps, albeit bravely, albeit naively, when we do hit our stride, when we do turn up to a game and play well, we can dominate the ball, even against top opposition, and get one over on them. I do feel like one thing that benefits us perhaps about being in the German league is that compared to other German clubs where of a similar quality to everyone except really Bayern Munich, Jovic saves it wide, which lends itself well to us doing well in the league. I do question how good is our system going to be when we're regularly taking on bigger teams in the Champions League, which, I mean, really, as I sit here now in the DFB Pokal, probably shouldn't be the question on my mind. I should be focusing on this game here. We're on the back foot early on. Okay, it's been an action-packed opening 15 minutes. Bayern Munich having a lot of the play. We've had plenty of possession, though. Neither team yet to have a shot on target. So don't be deceived by the highlights thus far in this game. It's been an even opening until there. Vitali Becker caught in possession, not what we want to see. Worth noting, Karim Adeyemi, the former Dortmund man, is leading the line for this Bayern Munich team. Of course, not the only Dortmund striker in their ranks. And well, we're going to need to do some defending here. Vanna dinks it in. Now hits it. It's deflected around. I think this is going to be given offside. I don't know who it was there in an offside position. I'm certainly hoping it's going to be given offside here. Our players, well, aren't reacting. The ref had his arm up, but no, the goal is going to count. What happened here? Vanna put the ball in. It was Arnau who had the shot, and it's deflected off Arian B, hasn't it, and gone in. I mean, an own goal is not an ideal start. That deflected effort, first shot on target of the game for Bayern Munich. It's the goal that sees us go a goal down. And elsewhere, to make things worse, Giovanni Reyna's picked up an injury. I'm going to have to bring in Zonarek here and play him out on the left-hand side. I feel like that is the best solution I have to this problem. Of course, Duranville out on loan at Hoffenheim. I was very tempted to bring him back from his loan when we did make the decision to sell Gillickson. Decided that he'd be better served by playing that regular football still. Maybe living to regret that slightly. We're looking a little light for players in the wide areas. That said, we still look threatening, and in fact, we're on the attack here. Gnonto hits it, scores it. He's offside. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Okay, we're quickly approaching the end of this first half. To be honest, despite the chances they've had, that deflected effort has been one of the few chances they've had. And now Gnonto has won the ball in a dangerous area, and he has to hit the target there. He skewed it wide of the post. It's been an even game. Bayern Munich perhaps edging it slightly, but I'm certainly not ashamed of the way that we've turned up in this game away from home. We've been brave. We've had a decent amount of possession, it has to be said. 51% of it. In fact, we're edging it out. That said, right here and now, we don't have the ball, and Musiala is playing it into Moukoko, who, fortunately for us, has let us off the hook. Okay, half-time in this game here, I'm going to tell the players they've been terrible. They need to sort it out. I've got shouty. They've reacted. Not overcomplicating the team talk. Going to hope that with my words ringing between their ears, we can step it up in this half as well. There is going to be a kick-off highlight. Gavi playing the ball forward. Omobamidele with an all-important interception there. Kameri can't win the header. Omobamidele does get to that second one, though. Now, Bino Gittins going inside. Lays it wide to Bullet. Gnonto in a wide area. Drifting wide the advance forward. Players queuing up in the middle. Couple of targets in the box. One of them is Adriano, who has missed the target there and really should have done better. 10 minutes into this half, we are yet to have a shot on target still. We've had opportunities, we've just not really taken them when they've come our way. And in a game like this one, this is the kind of game where when you do have chances, you really need to take them. The finishing has been lacking in this match here, and it could get worse. Ball played forward, Jovic, good little save. Suppose it is worth remembering, we are without two of our best players in the final third. Adamu and Gruda are two of our best outlets for creativity. I feel like that is perhaps hurting us in a game like this where our finishing hasn't quite been there. With 20 minutes left though, at 1-0 down, there is still an opportunity to perhaps make something happen. We have been on the back foot a little more in this half. I wish I had some more super impact subs I can make just to really spice up our life going forward. Sadly, those options don't really exist in our current squad. With 20 minutes left, though, regardless of what happens from this potential highlight, I imagine we're going to be changing some things up and going on the attack. Almost certainly now, Musiala's put the ball in the back of the net. I am going to hope and pray it's offside. Has he timed his run to perfection? He seems confident it's going to count. And it is going to count. The ball knocked around nicely here. Bayern Munich, of course, have just infinitely more resources than us. They have perhaps infinitely more quality. Musiala, their key man, rocking the number 10 shirt, tucks it away to double their lead. If you were wondering, by the way, how good is Musiala in this universe? The answer is yes. Yeah, he's quite good. By quite good, I mean he's better than all of our players, and it's actually making me sick how good he is. Let's move on. Never an ideal situation to be 2 goals down against Bayern Munich, but given the fact it's a cup game, given the fact the goal difference doesn't really matter at this point, we might as well go for it in what remains of this game. Sadly, in terms of changes I can make, not a whole load of options to bring in. I'm going to bring in Doppler and play him as a shadow striker. He is, of course, natural there. Elsewhere, I mean, I'm looking at the tired legs in the fullback areas thinking, yeah, maybe I should change things up there. But sadly for us, I think the reality is that without an absolute miracle, very unlikely we're coming back in this one. Okay, I've switched to a 4-2-3-1. We're committing men further forward. We're pressing higher up with our defensive line, hoping that we can win the ball higher up the pitch and then make something happen. But knowing that I've made these changes, we could leave ourselves open at the back, or maybe we're going to leave Bayern Munich higher and dry and stranded when it comes to trying to play out from the back. They have gifted the ball there to Bino Gittins. It is shocking play. It's a gift. It opens up just a very slim chance of perhaps making something happen here. De Ligt lays the ball wide and Bino Gittins reads it, slots it away. I've seen players miss those chances in Football Manager. He scored there, first goal of the season. Now we need one more goal in what remains. I say all of that. There's a highlight here. Arian B. Options down the line. Zonarek is one of them. Players queuing up in the middle. Suddenly, we've got a goal and perhaps the wind is in our sails. Perhaps the tide is turning in this game. Of course, as we commit men forward, got to be wary of the likes of Hudson-Odoi in the wide areas causing us some issues. Omobamidele to Taruna Riga, who is, he's going to dilly-dally on the ball, get dispossessed by Moukoko, who very nearly, well, probably should have, killed off this time. He's had 2 chances like that he's missed. On another day, this could have been a lot more of an embarrassing result, I suppose. I'm going to get shouty. I'm going to hope that we can make something happen here. Of course, if it's 2-2 after 90 minutes, it will go to extra time. I want to believe that could be possible. If we were to get a goal back, would I revert back to how we were playing previously, or would I stay like this? Perhaps I'm getting ahead of myself a little. You know, it is still 2-1. They are still in possession of the ball. They are still on the attack. Hudson-Odoi, Gavi, so many players now queuing up in the middle for them. Moukoko is one of them. Jovic makes another superb stop. I want to believe that now we can catch them on the counter. Zonarek drifting wide. Options inside. It's been end-to-end. There's still plenty of time to create something. And Killy, the former Bayern man, into a wide area, all the way into the box, still has it, crosses it. Falls straight into the keeper's hands. Okay, 4 minutes left. There's another highlight. It's going to be a long episode today. I thought with it being a triple header, maybe we'd have some shorter games. It hasn't played out that way. This game is having chances to the death. We are very much battling head-to-head against Bayern. And regardless of how this now plays out, we can be pretty proud, I feel like, of how we've shown up here. Zonarek in a wide area, cuts inside. His ball at the end of it was disappointing. That said, plenty of players committed to the attack. And while I thought that was going to potentially lead to us creating something, it could also lead to us being caught out on the counter. Musiala inside to Moukoko. He's all on his lonesome, a little bit isolated. Players arriving late now. One of them is Hudson-Odoi. And with him now scoring there, 3-1, game over. We gave it a good shot. I feel like it's easy to look at our position in the league and think, yeah, we're one of the big teams. The board expectation for this year was to avoid relegation. Of course, I wanted European football. Never did I dream we'd be in the kind of position we're in. And I think it has perhaps warped my expectations of the squad, and perhaps some of your expectations as well. Ultimately, this game here is nothing to be embarrassed by. We went toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. We created plenty as the away team as we threw men forward at the end. It's caught us out. I'm going to tell the players I'm proud of the effort. Apparently, they're not so proud of it. Well, next time I'll just throw a water bottle. It would have been one hell of an effort, wouldn't it, if we could have won all 3 games today. Sadly, we're going to end it with 2 wins and 1 defeat. But perhaps most importantly, the wins that we got in the league mean that we are still in a title fight with 10 games left of the season. When you look at games between now and the end of the year, there's one that stands out, isn't there? Bayern Munich at home. That game is midway through next month. We also have Hertha Berlin in March, and we also have our youth intake. So I think we know what we're coming back for next time. I'm going to hope that the injuries we've got to some key first-team players aren't going to hold us back, that we are going to be able to refocus, and perhaps importantly, some of these players that apparently have high injury risk are not going to get injured. I need an international break to come. The good news is, following on from our game against Werder Bremen, well, the game schedule does get a little bit easier. Only 3 games next month should make that more manageable. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's episode. If you have, as always, go down below, leave a like. We're back here, same time and place tomorrow. Until then, take things easy. It's me, Jack. I'll see you all again on the next one. I'm out.